The Black Dahlia's Lost Confession: 7 Decades of Lies in Hollywood's Most Gruesome Murder. Part 1. The Discovery and the Maim. The sun rose on January 15, 1947, over a vacant lot on Norton Avenue in Leimert Park, Los Angeles, illuminating a scene of calculated theatrical horror that would haunt the city for generations. A woman, Betty Bersinger, walking with her daughter, initially thought she had stumbled upon a discarded mannequin. It was not a mannequin. It was the body of 22-year-old Elizabeth Short, an aspiring actress and starlet whose tragic life was suddenly rendered immortal by her brutal death. The brutality was unprecedented. Short's nude body was severed cleanly at the waist, a procedure performed with surgical precision. Her face had been slashed from the corners of her mouth to her ears, creating a grotesque, permanent grin known as the Glasgow smile. Her body had been drained of blood, washed, and posed deliberately, as if a morbid artist had arranged his masterpiece. The medical examiner noted the meticulousness of the crime, suggesting the killer had anatomical knowledge. Elizabeth Short had already acquired a nickname in the seedy underworld of Los Angeles nightlife, the Black Dahlia. The moniker, likely coined by reporters, referenced her penchant for black clothing and the popular 1946 film The Blue Dahlia. This sensational nickname immediately transformed a victim into a legend, giving the crime a dark, glamorous sheen that would captivate the American public. Part 2. The Circus of Lies and False Confessions. The Los Angeles Police Department, LAPD, then notoriously corrupt and incompetent in major cases, was immediately overwhelmed. This was the city's first celebrity murder of the modern era, and the pressure from the press, led by William Randolph Hearst's sensational newspapers, was immense. The case quickly turned into a media circus. The flurry of fakery. The key astonishment of the Dahlia case lies not only in the murder itself, but in the sheer volume of false confessions it generated. Over the next few months, more than 50 men would confess to the crime, either seeking notoriety, trying to divert attention from other crimes, or suffering from mental illness. The LAPD, desperate for a quick win, often spent valuable time investigating these dead ends. One man, Mark Hansen, a wealthy Hollywood nightclub owner whose address book contained Short's phone number, was an early suspect. He had ties to the underworld and a history of exploiting young women, but he was eventually ruled out. The killer himself, however, engaged in a terrifying game with the authorities. Short's belongings, her address book, shoes, and a handbag were mailed to the police and the Los Angeles Examiner, along with a cryptic note promising to turn himself in. This move proved the killer was deliberately controlling the narrative. The sensationalism destroyed any chance of a quiet, meticulous investigation. Witnesses were coerced, tips were ignored, and evidence was mishandled. The truth became buried under a mountain of lies. Part 3. The Lost Confession and Dr. George Hodel. For decades, the case officially remained unsolved, a permanent stain on the LAPD. The key breakthrough and the lost confession referenced in the headline came from an utterly unexpected source, the son of a primary suspect. The focus shifted heavily in the early 2000s to Dr. George Hodel, a prominent and wealthy Los Angeles physician with deep connections to the Hollywood elite and the city's corrupt power structure. The evidence against Hodel. Dr. Hodel became the prime suspect through the relentless investigation of his own son, Steve Hodel, a retired LAPD homicide detective. The evidence he uncovered, initially dismissed by the original investigators, was astonishing. The blackmail tapes. In 1950, Dr. Hodel was the subject of an unrelated, highly sensitive wiretap investigation by the LAPD. On those tapes, Dr. Hodel is recorded speaking with the man about a crime. The chilling recording captures Hodel saying, "Supposing I did kill the Black Dahlia, they couldn't prove it now. My secretary did all the dirty work." The confession letter. A few days after the murder, a note was sent to a Los Angeles newspaper typed on a special paper used for medical scripts, which read, "The Dahlia is a bitch. She had it coming." Though this was not the main piece of evidence, subsequent analysis linked the paper to Dr. Hodel's medical office. The House of Horrors. Dr. Hodel's home was the centerpiece of the true crime narrative. Located at 5121 Franklin Avenue, the stunning modernist house was designed by renowned architect Lloyd Wright, son of Frank Wright. In 1950, the LAPD bugged and searched the house, believing the Black Dahlia had been killed there. Crucially, Steve Hodel found old photographs from the 1950 search that showed an area of freshly laid concrete in the backyard, a potential burial site that was never fully investigated. The surrealist connection. Dr. Hodel had a known passion for surrealist art, particularly the work of Man Ray. The way Elizabeth Short's body was bisected and posed mirrors the disturbing, shocking aesthetic of surrealist photography, suggesting an artistic, meticulous mind. Hodel also worked as a clinical doctor and may have been one of the few individuals with the skill to perform the bisection cleanly. The shocking reality is that the LAPD had the probable killer under surveillance in 1950, but inexplicably dropped the case against him, possibly due to corruption or fear of exposing a powerful figure. Part 4. The Lies That Sustained the Secret. The headline references 7 decades of lies, which encompasses the deliberate and accidental falsehoods that kept the case cold. The LAPD's lie of competence. The department's pride and desire to solve the case quickly led them to dismiss critical but confusing evidence and chase celebrity confessions, effectively ensuring the killer got away. The killer's lies of misdirection. Dr. Hodel's actions, taunting the press and sending the package of evidence, were designed to throw investigators off his trail by making the crime look like the work of a sexual sadist, when the evidence suggested a controlling intellectual. The family's lie of silence. The Hodel family suffered from the doctor's abuses, yet the family's secret was kept for decades. When Steve Hodel first went to the LAPD with his theories based on the blackmail tapes, he was reportedly met with scorn and dismissal, as the department feared reopening a case that would expose their historical failures. The ultimate tragedy is that the case had multiple potential breaks: the confession on the wiretap, the evidence in the house, but institutional failure and a relentless focus on the wrong kind of suspects allowed the killer to live the rest of his life free. Dr. George Hodel died in 1999, never having been formally charged with Elizabeth Short's murder. Though the case remains officially open, the overwhelming evidence, including his own words on the wiretap, strongly indicates that the secret of Hollywood's most gruesome murder went to the grave with him, hidden for decades by a combination of his cunning and the corruption of the age. The lost confession remains a chilling echo of the truth that was discarded by a city too eager for a simple answer.